Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Insight on Business. My name is Michael Libby, and guess what, kids? We are back. This is a show about advertising, marketing, consumer trends, and best business practices. We're live each and every day on Mondays, at least at this time, at 8:45 Central Time, and then we'll go for about an hour, sharing with you tips and ideas about how your business can become better. You want to sell more? You want to be able to engage your consumers better? That's what this show is all about. Insight on Business. Thanks so very much for coming by. It's all powered by Webcast One Live. On the show today, we're going to be talking about Twitter. You know, we use in our advertising agency Twitter to maintain constant communication and contact, to learn about the trends that consumers are talking about, sometimes even before our clients learn about them. We keep it's kind of like a constant news stream, but we see so many advertising agencies as well as businesses use Twitter poorly. We're going to give you 10 tips and a bonus for using Twitter for business correctly. I promise you, if you do it, you're going to see almost immediate results. What's one of the things, ladies and gentlemen, that your business does that you lose money at consistently, but you keep doing the same thing over and over? What is it? You go to trade shows, and those trade shows that you go to, you plow all kinds of money in, and for most of you, sadly, it's like throwing money down a rat hole, and it's a waste of time. I'm going to give you some ideas about what works and what doesn't work when you're taking a look at trade shows. Also, we're going to be taking a look at the best and some of the worst Super Bowl ads from last night. That's in the opening segment. And then finally, we're going to be talking about the business of modeling. Keep your thing together, guys. We're going to have a couple of models in studio, one who owns a modeling agency and another individual who is an independent model. We'll talk about the difference, the backstory about the business of working as a model independently, also working with an agency. What's the good news, the bad news, and how does all that work? All those stories and to take a look at the stock market and a whole bunch more today with Insight on Business, powered by Webcast One Live.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershide.
I'm administrative manager
I'm the senior technician
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
You know, if we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, you know, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be, it's your home.
You know, it's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're going to do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's going to be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're going to do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we'd fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
I mean, if you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you going to say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're going to be listening. They're going to want to know what your challenges are. Then they're going to come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you know, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? I mean, you can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me. But is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going, though. I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm going to take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right, or it's free or 100% money back.
enough said.
And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Insight on Business. It is at least Central Time, 10 minutes before the top of the hour. We're live each and every Monday at 8:45, Insight on Business, a show about advertising, marketing, consumer trends, and best business practices. You want to reach us? It's really easy if you use Twitter. It is at Insight ADV. That's on Twitter, Insight ADV. Well, did you see the Super Bowl last night? You saw the ads that were going on. Everybody had their favorites. Some of the other ones were not so good. We have an advertising agency, and so we pay very close attention to what's going on relative to advertising. So last night we were making our own list, if you will, about what we thought worked and what sort of bombed. Now remember, each 30-second ad during the Super Bowl last night cost whatever company it was $3.8 million to run. It was about close to $6 million if you were running a 60. The Dodge Ram ad, by the way, was nearly 2 minutes in length, so you can go ahead and do the math on that. At any rate, the good news is there were some pretty decent ads. The bad news is, I think, unlike past years, this year really failed miserably. For example, the GoDaddy ad, you've got to be kidding me. Ladies and gentlemen, are we done with that kind of a thing? On the other side of the coin, one of the ones that we really liked was the search for Coke, especially the glitter cannon during that piece. It was really good. Well, let's run down some of the ads that we saw and what we liked. We're not going to give you the bad ones because we already know that they were bad. Right? All right, let's take a look. The Doritos wedding dress piece, where the guy puts on, he's going to play with his daughter. I don't know if you saw the backstory about how that was made or not with the glitter and the actors. That ad was created for under $3,000. Of course, it cost him $3.8 million to run. But anyway, it goes to show what you can do when consumers get involved. That was a consumer-generated ad. We thought that the Calvin Klein ad, there's a bar here in town, and my friend Bo Foder here in Des Moines, who is the gay wedding planner, we figured that ad went over really big down at Blazing Saddles. My wife liked it, too. I don't know. Anyway, let's go on with this. Cars.com and the Wolf, very cool. The dog slobber with the VW, that was cute. The Jamaica Mon ad with VW, we thought that thing rocked the house. It was just really cool. Respect, man, and just everybody take a deep breath. Lincoln ad, that was kind of a fail, we thought. See, we really did our homework on this, kids. Spend hours. Ladies and gentlemen, we spend hours trying to put this show together. Hours, I'm telling you. The Jeep ad, the military with the music, that was nice, but that was Band of Brothers music in the background, wasn't it? Yes? No? You think? Yeah, we thought so. This one, I have to, the pistachios ad with PSY. What a horrible ripoff. I mean, anybody, so overused. The Budweiser Foal and the Trainer. That was touching, People were crying. I mean, we were on Twitter last night talking about some of these things and also on Facebook, and people were crying about that ad. Paul Harvey and the farmer for Ram trucks. Now, I think you have to be a certain age to go ahead and get that one. Here we had Paul Harvey, the voice of Paul Harvey, doing in a speech talking about the farmer and God made the farmer for all of these things. And, of course, the touching thing was relative to not only a nostalgic thing was Paul Harvey's voice, but some of the great images that they used. And as they were going through this, at about, 30 seconds into the thing, I said, I bet this is for a truck. And, of course, they didn't reveal who it was for, actually, until right toward the end of the 60 or the almost 2-minute spot, and it was very, very well done. We thought it was nostalgic, it was cool, and it was quite a jolt to hear Paul Harvey's voice on an ad. For those of us who are over the age of 40, Ryan, our producer and director, is going, "Who in the hell is Paul Harvey?" Right? You doing that?
Mm-hmm. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, you don't know who Paul Harvey is. Of course, you should see. Are you 18 yet?
Yeah, I'm 19.
You're 19. Okay, yeah. See, I could be his grandfather. Anyway, Paul Harvey ad and the Ram thing, that took the cake, man. That was really good. All right, let's talk about Twitter and business. You know, from time to time, kids, we see companies or associations or organizations attempt to use Twitter for their business. And one of the basic things I think that business fails to understand is that Twitter isn't like a TV ad, and it's not like your Facebook post. It goes out into the Twitter sphere. I wish I was the guy that had created the name for Twitter, by the way. I always thought that was a little bothersome when you tweet. Anyway, so Twitter is kind of like what we used to have in the newsroom at the broadcast stations I've worked at in the past. It's like an AP teletype machine. And this thing continuously rolls and rolls and rolls, and all of this information is consistently updated. Depending on how many people you follow or how many people follow you, that length of time in between updates is going to change. I can't tell you. I think we have 25 or I don't know how many followers that we have. I really don't keep up to date with that. We use Twitter to garner all kinds of information relative to consumer trends. What are people talking about? What's the news in advertising? What's the news in marketing? What are consumers talking? What do they like? What don't they like? And then we use Twitter also on a personal level just to go ahead and say stupid stuff like I had a great cup of coffee this morning, and I only had one, by the way. I was in Arkansas for 5 days, and I got back yesterday, and it was a long trip, and so I didn't have time to prepare for the show correctly. I'm sorry. But anyway, so we use Twitter for all kinds of reasons. Most businesses, sadly, fail at their utilization. And I'll tell you what, most advertising agencies also fail because they don't train their clients well enough. So let's go through the top tips that we think you ought to be paying attention to when you're talking about Twitter. You ready? Number one, if you use Twitter for business, make sure that you fill out your profile completely. We want to know a little bit about you. Who are you? What are you talking about? If you can use your real-life image, if you are a real-life person, go ahead and use that. If you're not, if you're a corporation, use your logo, but also let folks know who is doing the tweeting so that people can connect that way, because this is human interaction. It's not a stale, one-sided broadcast facility like a billboard, television commercial, or radio commercial. This is actually engaging the audience or your consumers back and forth. So that's number one. Go ahead and make sure that you fill out your Twitter profile completely. All right? Let them know where you are. I mean, if you're located in Timbuktu, which, by the way, most people, like Ryan's age at 19, is finally figuring out that there really is a Timbuktu. It's in Mali, which used to be some other place. But anyway, if you're in Timbuktu, Des Moines, Iowa, New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, or Little Rock, Arkansas, make sure you let people know where you're from. Not to necessarily just drive that to that particular geographic location, but it is kind of important. And we don't do latitude and longitude so well, which is usually the Twitter default. Okay? Let's see. Link your profile to your blog. You do have one, right? For your business? You don't? We'll cover that one of these days, too. If you have a blog, make sure that your Twitter account is linked to the blog, so that or at least your website, so that people can find out more about you should they wish. It's horrible to just go ahead and click on somebody's Twitter profile, and then it says the link is their Twitter profile. If you got a business, wouldn't you want to link it to something that tells more about you? We always encourage our clients to go ahead and start blogging because what? It does all kinds of great things for your business. It expands your voice. So make sure that you blog. If you don't blog, at least have your Twitter profile linked to who in the heck you are on the web. All right? Share some thoughts. You know, we know folks that clog their Twitter streams with news and information about that news and information. You know, they'll go ahead and retweet articles from the newspaper, television, other blogs, other things like that. It's always fine, okay? But you've got to have some type of an opinion, don't you? I would think, and if you've got some kind of opinion, go ahead and share that. Also, share some personal things. Remember, Twitter is kind of a conversation. It's building relationships. So you can't sell 100% of the time. As a matter of fact, we tell people to use the old 80-20 rule. 80% of your communication on Twitter ought to be personal, fun, interesting, entertaining, with 20% of that being maybe the sell. You know, go see our website. Go see this. Hey, by the way, this is what we do. But the rest of it is conversation, and it allows people to get to know you better. Link your search. Twitter is an amazing tool, kids, to go ahead and search for various things that you want to know about. Let's say you're in the auto parts business, and you can go ahead and use a hashtag. That's the old number sign, you know, and you can go ahead and use that to search for people that are talking about cars, used cars, auto parts. Let's say you're in the modeling business, like our upcoming guests are. You can search for modeling, models, magazines, a graphic designer. Search for other graphic designers and what's going on in their world, and share that information back and forth. Twitter is an amazing tool to learn what consumers are talking about. Say you're in the retail industry and you're selling self-weasel winding torque inducers. You might go ahead and put a hashtag on that and find out what people are saying about your products. Maybe you sell or manufacture pens, high-quality fountain pens, or roller balls, or ballpoints. Wouldn't you want to know what people are talking about? You can use Twitter for that. And you can search those posts and those communication devices, and then visit with them about what's going on. Let's say you're in agriculture. All right. One of the things that our agency works in quite a bit, every Tuesday night, there is a worldwide conversation on hashtag AgChat, hashtag AGCHAT. And people from all over the world talk about food and fiber. It is an amazing conversation. By the way, if you've ever watched a football game on Twitter, have you? It's kind of cool. Remember mom. I know. This shouldn't even have to be said. Anthony Weiner should have listened to this, okay? Don't ever tweet something that you wouldn't want to share with your mom in person. If you've got a business and you're tweeting, you're utilizing this to communicate with potential customers, consumers, your employees, just remember there are some things you shouldn't be doing. So if you're not comfortable in talking about it with mom, don't put it on Twitter, okay? Stop selling. I told you about that. That's the old 80-20 rule. You'd think I'd have all these memorized by now, kids. Respond. This is so important. If somebody is calling you out or talking to, not calling you out, that's a negative connotation, but if somebody's talking to you on Twitter, or they mention you on Twitter, or they are wanting to engage you on Twitter, make sure that you in some way respond to those people. Don't just let that stuff hang out there in the wind. They're trying to engage you in a conversation. Make sure that you do that. You can see our Twitter tag up there on the 3rd. It says Inside ADV, and we'll be checking those comments during the break. Be silly. It's okay. You can be creative and silly. Last night while watching the Super Bowl during the commercial period, I mean, some really funny stuff was going on. And one of the other interesting things was who really won the social media battle last night? Oreo. You can dunk Oreos even in the dark, you know, when the lights went out. And within 5 minutes, I think it was, after the lights went out, the Oreo Corporation, because they had the executives in the room, started tweeting this photograph of Oreo surrounded by darkness with the tag says, "You can dunk in the dark." It's tremendous. Post photos. People like to see what you're doing. And if you have a Twitter account, for crying out loud, use it. You'd be surprised. We have people follow us all the time, and we click on their timeline, and they've maybe tweeted 5 times in the last month. Our rule of thumb that we share with our clients is you must tweet 10 to 15 times a day. Because remember, it's this constant revolving piece of information, and you got to be on top of it. That's Twitter for Business, kids. You can find all of those posts up on our post at insightcubed.com. We'll be sharing this information in the podcast a little bit later as well, and direct links to that particular blog. Twitter for Business, 10 tips and a bonus that makes 11. Twitter for Business. Listen, we're going to be back in just 3 minutes, and when we come back, I'm going to show you a little video about trade shows. It's one of those things, ladies and gentlemen, that businesses do all over the United States. You go to trade shows, you're engaged in trade show activities. I want to show you the good news and the bad news about going to a trade show and what people need, sadly, to know to be able to impact their ROI. This is Insight on Business. My name's Michael Libby, and we are powered by Webcast One Live.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
If you choose to obey the power of sin, it leads to death. If you choose to obey obedience, it leads to righteousness.
Forgiveness is just the beginning of life in Christ. God wants us to live for Him now.
And because of Jesus Christ, the gospel was preached, and you and I are blessed today because of Abraham. Did you know that? We're blessed.
Experience Truth, 99.3 FM.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
Fight the good fight on a Rebels Cause Radio, Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on a rebelscause.com. A Rebels Cause Radio is edutainment.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
The only way we come to know the Saviorship of Jesus Christ is by bowing and acknowledging that He is Lord and King over all the earth.
Jesus Christ died on a cross, paid the penalty for our sin, and by repenting of our sin and accepting Him by faith, what He did for us, we are forgiven.
Salvation is not a combination of faith and works. Salvation is by faith alone in God.
Experience Truth, 99.3 FM.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Insight on Business. My name is Michael Libby. Thanks so very much for coming by. We're all powered by Webcast One Live. In just a little bit, we're going to bring in the models. Do I know how to run a show or what, kids? We're going to be talking about modeling. You know, we need a computer guy. Really? All right. Sorry, I was going to respond to Greg and to Ben and several other people, but it tain't working very well today, kids. Let's talk about trade shows really quickly. we've been involved in helping not only our clients do trade shows, but I have had the opportunity to do trade shows for absolutely forever. And it seems like that anyway. I think Moses and I did a trade show someplace over there, I don't know, Mount Sinai or something, talking about those 10 commandments. But so trade shows are a very important part of people's outreach in public relations or getting people engaged. I mean, there's a huge trade show coming to Des Moines. It's the Des Moines Home Show that comes up. They're expecting 38,000 people. Those companies that are exhibiting at the trade show that's coming up soon here in Des Moines will spend thousands of dollars, not only in travel, but also in their booth, in giving away stuff at their booth, in lodging and food and all kinds of things, thousands of dollars. But most, and I'd bet 70% of the people that are going to be engaged in that trade show that's expecting 38,000 visitors are not seeing the maximum return on their investment. Why? Because they don't know how to do it, or they've been doing it the same way year after year after year. I've got a real quick video clip I want to show you, and this is not to embarrass anybody, but this is a trade show, and not the Des Moines Lawn and Garden Show, but this is a different trade show that we took some clips of some time ago, and I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, when you take a look at this video, you're going to see some good practices and some really embarrassing practices. Ryan, could you go ahead and roll that video for us, please? It's the third day of a 3-day home show here in Des Moines. Hi, Michael Libby with Insight on Business. We're here to find out what exactly we can learn together about trade show marketing. Come on inside. We'll show you. Now, here's a company that went the extra mile, and they've decided to have an island for the trade show. But well carpeted, well lit, and some unique stuff. Nice. See the barrier? Now, this is kind of fun. This is a concrete service, refinishing. And check it out. I mean, it's all open space. People can come in and see what's going on, ask questions. Nicely done. Let's see. What's on my cell phone? Pillows, but are we engaged? We're a fan of Silent Rivers. One of the reasons is they lose lots of light in their display, very modern looking, and they don't crowd the place with a whole bunch of things that really don't matter. Rather than having a table all the way across the front, it's a counter height table, and Jaden's been able to share with people all kinds of information in a comfortable setting, and they can go ahead and sign up for things without having to bend over. Nicely done, as always. Sign says to sign up to win. But again, see the problem is, folks have got to bend over. Just make it easy. You'd know right away what these people sell. Another great example of an open floor plan, well merchandised, communicating with buyers, very, very nice. Yet another example. See, I'm telling you, when you've got a booth and it's interactive and people can see what it is that you do, and you've got great professional photographs and a nice looking booth, well lit, makes all the difference in the world. And then again, there's this. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a quick look at a trade show here in Des Moines, actually. That was taken. We've done this in many other parts of the country. I probably should have spared Des Moines some of that. But there were some really interesting things going on. I hope you caught what it is that we're sharing with the people. Number one, we think your whoever is attending the trade show should be engaged. Don't put yourself in a barrier position. Don't put a barrier between yourself and the attendees. That barrier says you're not very welcoming. Allow your trade show booth. It can be even a 10-foot booth, okay? And you can do that very well, even in a 10-foot booth, to allow it to be opened up so that people can come into the booth and feel somewhat welcome and visit with you. Also, lighting. The most important thing we think about any trade show booth is that you have lighting going on. Don't count on the lights that are provided for the company that is putting on the trade show because they're inadequate. When you put lighting onto whatever that booth is, it really makes those images on your booth pop. All right? People are drawn to the light, so to speak. Come to the light. The other thing is make sure that your booth isn't cluttered. You saw that. Lots of stuff on the booth. You only have seconds. It's kind of like billboards. You only have seconds to be able to impact the people that are attendees at a trade show. Why would you want to have your booth look confusing with all that stuff all over the place? Excuse me. With all that stuff all over the place. And people can't focus on what the heck it is that you're all about. So can the clutter at your trade show booth make it very simple, make it very comfortable as well? And that was the other thing. If you're taking information, and data is king, and this is going to be very important for you to know, data is king at any trade show. You want to be able to collect data, but you want to make it so that the attendees at the show are comfortable in sharing that data with you. Pretty simple way to do that is raise the table. If you've got a table for a sign-up or whatever it happens to be, and I encourage you to do that because, again, data is king, make sure that you've got something that they can sign in or sign up or give your email address that's comfortable, that's at bar height rather than tabletop height so that they don't have to bend over and sometimes expose their underwear. Back to Calvin Klein, right? The other thing is, when you get the data, and this is so important, I don't care what trade show you're at, and there are all kinds of great technological ways in which to gather data. You can do that with a QR code. You can do that with a swipe device at your booth, so you gather all this information, especially if it's a closed show. And you can take part in getting that instant data download. All kinds of ways that you can maximize the data that you get. Have a contest, have an event, have some fun at your trade show booth and be the center of attention. And then the most important thing, 73%, ladies and gentlemen, 73% of the trade show data that's collected is never followed up on once it gets back to the office. Somebody's got to be in charge. Make sure that they're in charge not only to set up, manage, and then follow up after the show, but make sure that you follow up with all of those leads. It might take you a couple of weeks if it's a big show, but if you don't follow up, you're just letting them sit on the sidelines, and you might as well throw your money down a rat hole, or you could write me a check. Whatever you want to do. That'd be kind of cool for me. We're going to be talking modeling, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back. We've got a couple of folks in studio. Tricia Hunter, who's going to be coming in. Tricia is an independent model. She specializes in a retro look. And so we're going to be talking to her about what it's like to go ahead and do this kind of work as an independent. Also, Shalana Lang is in studio with us. She owns Runway Models and Talent, and that's a Des Moines modeling agency. We're going to talk about the backside of that business. What does it take to get in it, stay in it, and how do you promote yourself? All right? We're talking modeling. See, I told you should pay attention to this show, because we bring you only the good stuff. Modeling with Insight on Business. That's coming up next. We are Insight on Business. My name is Michael Libby, and we are powered by Webcast One Live.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little, until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
If you choose to obey the power of sin, it leads to death. If you choose to obey obedience, it leads to righteousness.
Forgiveness is just the beginning of life in Christ. God wants us to live for Him now.
And because of Jesus Christ, the gospel was preached, and you and I are blessed today because of Abraham. Did you know that? We're blessed.
Experience Truth, 99.3 FM.
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Inside on Business. My name is Michael Libby, and this is the show about advertising, marketing, consumer trends, and best business practices. Ryan, we got to do something about this computer, man. Wow. Hold on. Let me see. Send now. There we go. I'm just telling the rest of the world, ladies and gentlemen, that we're doing models next. You know, I am a lucky man. I get to do this for a living. Actually, I have an advertising agency, which means I sometimes use models for the advertising agency for our clients. And so how does that work? Well, the trade shows, spokespersons, you know, all kinds of things like that we use actual people to work these various events. And so we have two folks in studio with us. This lovely blonde-headed lady that you see with the glasses, her name is Tricia Hunter. Tricia, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yay! Tricia and I worked together just last week, as a matter of fact.
Yes, it was very fun.
Yeah, it was the annual Iowa Nebraska Equipment Dealers Association. It was called the Iowa Power Farming Show. One of our clients sponsored the buses that transported people from the free parking, cost $6 if you park over there by the show, the free parking place to the front door. And with the inclement weather that we had, that was kind of nice. And Tricia was one of the three models in one of the three buses that we had that she was entertaining the people with conversation and pointing them to a video. So what'd you think of that?
It was lots of fun. I really enjoyed it and got to dress up, wore my pigtails on the first day, and donned my cowboy boots. It was lots of fun.
Yeah,
I
there
really
you go.
enjoyed it.
You're an independent model.
Yes.
And so you work independently. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Shalana.
Yes.
Shalana Lang. How you doing?
Good,
Shalana Lang is one of the co-owners or the owners or the how do you say that?
It's
the
Runway.
Principal of Runway.
There's three partners,
There
so
you
I'm
go.
one of the partners.
One of the partners over
Yeah.
at Runway Model and Talent.
Yes.
A Des Moines.
Yes.
A Des Moines modeling agency. Now, people that are watching this all over the country or all over the world are going, seriously?
Seriously.
They have an agency that talks about models in Des Moines, and your site, the models that you have, could be anywhere.
Correct.
They could be from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very attractive men, women, and you also do some children too, don't you?
Yes, we do.
That's a big thing, I would imagine.
It just depends on the market.
Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing is there's a market for just about everything. You just have to have the right clients that are looking for it.
Shalana and Tricia. Tricia, tell me about that. It's Tricia Trixie. What is all that?
Well, I had a former business and I had a trademark infringement. And so my trademark attorney said, well, what do people know you as that nobody can steal away that is like Google or like a name that is you? And I said, well, I've been Tricia Trixie since before I can remember as a username. And he said, go with that. So that is my brand. That's me. So if you look up Tricia Trixie on Google, you'll find me on pages and pages. So that's my name. That's my pinup name.
And we're going to show a couple of photographs. And by the way, Greg, no, I'm not sure. I'm not sharing the backside of modeling. This is the back story of modeling. Clean your ears out. And Georgie would not be pleased. These are a couple of photographs, kids. This is Tricia in costume, if you will, and this is really a cool. Tell us about this photo shoot.
This is with Carissa Keeling, who does various photography. This is through Mystique Photographic, and this is at my studio It's a studio here in Des Moines. And you can, use different photographers. This is a great thing for independents. You can meet with different photographers and rent out different studios like Iconics or My Studio By. And this was a great photo shoot. I have my own wardrobe, my own shoes, my own clothes, my own props. And then they do the photography. So I pay for the shoots.
Sure.
And sometimes I do what's called TFP, time for prints. So I give time, they give prints. They, give 5 to 10 prints for that. This happened to be a paid shoot, so it was lots of fun. And I just did one on last Sunday with Nick Clausen with 5 Photography, and I'll be getting some of those as well.
Very nice. Now we're catching a trend here. Ryan, could you throw up both of those or one of those shots again? We're catching a trend here. We got this. It looks very fun. Almost looks like a Coke ad, by the way, with the red dot, or maybe it's Target. I'm not sure, but very vintage. So what's the vintage thing? Is this something that you're specializing in?
Yes, I love vintage. I'm vintage inspired model. That's what I call myself, and a lot of other pinup models call themselves that. I love the vintage, retro, vintage nouveau, anything that's kind of a mix between the newer and the vintage modeling. That's what I would like to do, but that's a closed window if I just limited myself to that. So I'm open to other, but that's what I really love to do. I love the vintage look and that 30s, 40s, 50s kind of modeling, and I'm just really trying to build my portfolio with that. And I love to do any shots that have something with that in mind, or stores who are looking for that.
Got it. And because you're not 22,
right,
or you're not 25, you're not 19, I would imagine this is somewhat of a challenge for you, but the opportunity for you to work in the vintage world might open up some other doors. Is that kind of the backside business model of this?
Well, that is. I do have a benefit. Yes, I am over 40, but I don't look it, so that always has been a benefit from me. People stop me and say, oh, no, you're not. I get ID'd sometimes.
Right.
So that is a benefit, and also that I have done the business before. I'm getting back into modeling. So, I was taught through other agencies how to do my hair, how to do my makeup. Even when I did my last photo shoot, I came with my own makeup case and my own clothes. So those are the type of things that are benefit to me than I think some other models that are just starting out in the business that don't really understand those type of things. So, and I have an entrepreneurial business, so I know how to look and go after it. So I think that's a benefit.
And you're dressed retro-y today too.
Yes, I love my retro dress, and I do my own victory rolls.
There you go.
My own pinup and my own
victory
makeup.
rolls. Tell me about that. What is that?
They're a signature for the 1940s for victory for the war, and a signature that the women could honor their men out in the war. So it's something that I love to do, and it takes a lot of talent and time to do it. So,
Greg just reminded me, Tricia, that I'm supposed to check the tape, because he says I totally did say backside. Calling Dr. Freud. If you want to have a comment, if you want to ask either one of our guests a question, you can go ahead and tweet that question to Insight ADV. On Twitter, it's Insight ADV. You see the third in front of you right now, and we'll go ahead and ask the questions utilizing Twitter. And we are seeing live, by the way, at webcast1live.com. Shalana, now, unlike Tricia, you're running an agency.
Yes.
And so you have a stable of individuals who work with you. What's the difference between an agency and then an independent thing? Are you able to place people in various roles? What are you looking for? I want to learn more about this.
Yes. So we're scouting talent all over the state of Iowa and wherever we may be. And we're looking for particular individuals that our clients are going to want to book. Obviously, when you look at different ads, whether it's Abercrombie or Target, you kind of see some of the same looks. So that's what we're looking for. Iowa's untouched. We all know that. We've got some great talent here. I joke around when I have placement agencies ask me, so where did you find this individual? And I'll say, oh, they were detasseling in a field, and I just came upon them. And so we've got some great talent here. So we find them, and first off, find out if there's an interest. Because for some of them, they've never thought of this before. Right. And others, it's been a dream and they just didn't know how to pursue it, or thought, I live in Iowa, it's just never going to happen. So we find those individuals and we work with them, get them to the right places, whether it's a acting school if they need to get some classes, or if we want to, if they're going to do high fashion runway and they need to learn how to walk on a runway, we get them in the right direction for that. We are not a school. We are a placement agency. Sure. And so we help them get those resources, because there's some people out there that have schools or have classes that are great, and then there's others that are not. So we help get them in the right direction.
So when we're talking about setting up a modeling and talent agency in Des Moines, Iowa, and I know, some people will say, really? Seriously? But this is not all uncommon. I was in Little Rock for 4 or 5 days working this past week. I got home yesterday, and there's several agencies in Little Rock. So it's not just Los Angeles or New York or Chicago. Local people do this, and they set up agencies. What's been the biggest challenge for you? You're a young agency. You've only been around a couple of years. What, a year? 1 year?
Just a year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So tell me, what are the biggest challenges in launching a modeling agency in a small community, 500,000 people like Des Moines?
The biggest challenges are educating people that you're here, whether it's advertising agents, clients, magazines, boutiques. There is a lot of big market companies that come and shoot in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people aren't aware of that.
Yes, they are.
Because, of course, the costs are a lot less than New York, and we've got great talent right here. You don't have to fly them in.
Absolutely.
So the education of the community, and then educating people what we do. We're not a school. I had someone call me over the holidays. I just want to buy my daughter some lessons. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not what we do. So it's just the education part of it. And other than that, it's been great. I can't complain.
So just like any other small to medium sized or even large business, your real challenge is getting people to know who you are and what you do.
Exactly.
Do you employ social media at all?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Obviously, a very important thing. You are on Facebook, I know, and
Yes.
we communicated there as well. Outside of getting known, what's the cost factor that you have to consider? You've got rent for a building. How does it all work with how you make your money? How does an agency make their money? You get a cut, I suspect, of the
right.
booking.
So, we get a portion of the commissions paid to the talent or the model. Very common. We don't make money until they make money. So up front, it's a big investment. And for us, it's an investment of our knowledge and our time. And so we take it very seriously when we offer someone a contract. We need to know that there's going to be a return on investment. That contract also means that they are going to give 110%, just like we are.
Right.
And if, for some people, it's not always a match. This is not easy. It is hard. And it's, sometimes you get no's and sometimes you get yeses, and, there's a lot of ebb and flow. And
I would imagine, and just, in talking about this, I would imagine that the rejection factor in modeling is absolutely huge. And that's a personal thing, too, because what you are is what you're selling.
Right.
You're selling you, and when that doesn't happen, that can be sometimes very troublesome. As an independent person that's out there doing her own marketing outside of an agency, what are your biggest challenges?
Getting no's, definitely. I have to talk to quite a few people, different agencies, sending my submissions in, going on casting calls, talking to, people like you, finding out if there are any gigs that are open or available, and if it is the right fit, like Shalana, correct?
Yep.
Said that it might not be the right fit. I did talk to Runway, and they said, not right now, talk to us later. Maybe right now it's not the fit, maybe it will be, maybe it still won't be. But, for someone like me, I can't take that personal. I have to say, all right, that might not have been a good fit for Runway. That doesn't mean that I'm going to stop what I'm doing. That doesn't mean, okay, well, that didn't work. I better just give this up. That isn't my thing, so I'm a horrible model. For me, I just say, oh, well, I wasn't the fit for them. So, I talked to Peak Agency and a couple other agencies, and then I talked to other, like Des Moines Magazine and Meredith, and find out, if they're looking, or, who they go through as well, because some do go through agencies and some don't. That's the other thing that I found out is not everyone uses an agency. Some will actually use an independent, though, some say, nope, sorry, sorry, I only use Runway. Nope, sorry, I only use Peak. Or, you have to go through an agency. So sometimes that can be a challenge because, I want to get my foot in the door. And if you're not listed with an agency, then sometimes you don't work.
Sure. I can well understand that. The whole personal rejection thing, I mean, that's got to be tough.
Right.
Because just like Shalana and I were talking, you're setting yourself out there for those kinds of things. And in your very niche world of vintage modeling, not everybody sees that as a hot item.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be sometimes kind of tough to take. How do you do that? How do you deal with that?
Well, like I've said on social media, and you've seen me on my Facebook, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. That's what I say. I mean, it's true. Not everyone understands vintage modeling. Not everybody likes, the victory rolls or, likes the way that, you look. They don't understand it. They don't get it. And that's fine. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Some people don't understand, why I post pictures of myself on Facebook. I am an independent. I've got to get myself out there. I need to, tweet myself. I need to put myself on Facebook. I need to put myself on Model Mayhem. I need to put myself out there. I'm an independent. I'm an entrepreneur. I need to be, marketing myself.
Got it.
So, I just share with people, if you don't, like all the comments and likes, here's how you can undo that. Sure. And, help them to understand part of it and just, share with them, why I'm doing it.
Let's talk for just a second about fee structures. Shalana, does it change per model? By experience, by the job, or are there set fees? I don't know.
In regards to how they get paid?
Yes.
Yes, it all changes. And it also depends on the client. There's a myth out there, if you're in, say, 17 magazine, it's going to pay big money. Well, no, it doesn't.
Really?
Last time I had a model in 17 magazine just recently, she got an airline ticket to New York and $150.
Yeah, I was going to say about 100.
But... Wow. It's 17 magazine.
Yeah, there you go.
So you do it to build your book and the prestige of having that, and that you're going to get noticed by someone else by being in that magazine. So it all depends on the client. The business has changed drastically in the last 10 years. Places that used to pay don't. There's some publications that used to use agencies that now use their employees. So a lot of it has changed, and to look on magazines, whether it's Vogue or Cosmopolitan, now sometimes it's more celebrities than it is models. So that's changing as well. So yeah, the fee structure is all across the board. And again, you're right. It depends on the job. It depends on the model, how experienced they are, how long they're there. There's so many different factors.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I'm shocked. $100 and $150 in a plane ticket, huh?
Yeah.
So that takes a lot of gigs to be able to get there.
Right.
What is hot right now, Shalana? What are people looking for when they're contacting you? I know it's probably all over the board, dependent on the client. But are there trends in the modeling business that you follow or that you attempt to jump on before maybe folks around here know about it?
Yeah, we're always trying to stay ahead of the curve. And what is it that the clients are looking for? Everyone, for the most part, or there's the myth that, it's blonde hair, blue eyes.
Right.
That is not the case anymore. It's, someone with a very unique, exotic look and dark hair and olive skin and, just those more exotic looking individuals. And you can't just be pretty anymore. That's not going to get the job. You have to have personality plus. So it's a combination of all those things. So many people think, oh, you can just look fantastic and you don't have to be nice. Well, no, that's not the case. You got to win them over because there's so many girls or guys that just look amazing. But if the personality's not there, they're not going to get the job.
Shalana Lang, ladies and gentlemen, from Runway Models and Talent Agency here in Des Moines. We're talking about the business of modeling and how do you market yourself, and what are the trends that are going on, and what are the frustrations in not only running an agency but also as an individual attempting to get in the business. And that's Tricia Hunter, who is an independent. You've got kind of a cool thing coming up over the next how long? You're going to New York.
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, there you go. You're going to New York tomorrow to blog and to be part of what?
Independent Fashion Bloggers Conference.
Okay, tell me about that.
There's a bunch of us fashion bloggers that are going to New York Fashion Week, and we are going to be blogging about all the great things that are going on with New York Fashion Week and learning about fashion blogging. And we're from all over, everywhere from Australia to the UK to here in the United States. And it's about the business of blogging, social media marketing, as well as affiliate marketing, and those like myself who also do fashion design. And as you know, I have a fashion design business and do vintage aprons and short dresses.
I think it's a great idea, by the way.
And just all different types of things. So learning how to sell our fashion designs, learning how to fashion blog, and just all different types of aspects of it. And people like Bergdorf Goodman is going to come talk to us. Lots of different people are stopping in. We're learning all different aspects of it. And it's going to be at the Altman building. We're going to have an after party at the W Hotel. It's a great, great opportunity. And I'm so excited to go. And I just can't believe it. And I'm just super excited about it.
Ryan, did you hear that? Ryan, we're talking the after party with models. What do you think?
And fashion people.
And fashion.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't think I'd be interested.
You're
Sorry.
in, aren't you? Come on, man. You're in. You wouldn't be interested. I would, but then I'm old. We're talking with Tricia Hunter and Shalana Lang about the business of modeling. And I want to get back to something you just said, your fashion business, about aprons. And I think this is kind of a cool thing. Not only do you model, but you've also got this idea about vintage aprons.
Yes.
And so you create one-of-a-kind or aprons for people. And tell us just briefly about that.
Well, I do two things. I custom design vintage shirt dresses and vintage aprons. And then I also do what's called reconstructed aprons. So let's say that you have a dress or a skirt in your closet that you haven't worn for a while or that you can't wear, but you love it. You love the style of it, and you would love to have it as an apron. I will reconstruct it for you and help give it a little custom design and make it into a reconstructed apron. So I'll do one or the other, and I'm doing some for Aha Bakery in Jefferson right now as a custom design apron for them. So I'm very excited about it.
And where can people find you?
At Sense of Fashion for my Twitter feed. Sense of Fashion, at Sense of Fashion for my Twitter feed, or www.senseoffashion.com.
Very nice. And we will have, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, all of these links for you on our blog, Insight on Business, as well as some of the tape that you've seen here today. Shalana, when we talked about trends and getting your name out there and talking to people about modeling in Iowa, and when I went to your website, I was really intrigued by the people that were there, some of your models. What's the experience level of some of these folks? I mean, are they relatively new in the business, or have some of them been around for a while? And what would you tell somebody that's trying to break into the business?
We have very young talent. Some of them are very experienced. Right now, I have currently 3 models working in South Beach, Miami, who are placed with Next Models. One of them is very experienced, and the other 2 are a little newer, but experienced as well. You know, it's just the longer you're in the business, the more you pick up. I have another model who is actually more of an actress out in LA. I have other models that are in Chicago. Yeah, so, you know, we find them here. We help them and get them to the right place. So
very nice. What's the age range?
You know, we'll take on new clientele as young as 4, and then all the way up to, say, 64. It just depends on what the clients are looking for. So there is a diverse group. And, you know, getting them younger is good because, you know, you start training them and they get more experienced. And if they decide they want to continue to pursue as they go through their teens and junior teens and so forth, that's great. You know, some kids, you know, do it as they're young and then decide, you know, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to be a kid and go to soccer games. And then some.
Because there is discipline involved in all this.
Oh my, yes, there is. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you know, and these are not easy hours.
What? No, you know, the discipline part of it is, you know, when your friends are, you know, gnawing on cheeseburgers, you might have to say, can I have a chicken salad instead, you know?
Yeah. Give me a carrot stick.
Right. And they want to drink Mountain Dew. And I say, let's stick with water. We have to keep a clear complexion.
Amazing.
So, you know, they've got to make some lifestyle decisions and helping them make those good decisions. Like, I need to do yoga every day to stay toned and fit.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guests today have been two models. One, an independent. That is Tricia Hunter. You can find her all over the web. We'll have the information for you as well. She specializes in vintage, and also Shalana Lang with Runway Models and Talent here in Des Moines. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Thank you very much.
Very cool. This has been Inside on Business, kids. We're here each and every Monday, starting at 8:45 in the morning. Maybe one of these days we'll go for every day, but not right now. Every Monday, 8:45 in the morning, right here at Webcast One Live. We'll be all over the internet as far as how you can contact us. The video for this and the rest of the items are coming up soon. Thanks for joining us. Be safe, be well, be careful. Most of all, be good to your fellow man. For all of us at Inside Advertising, Marketing, and Communications, have a great week.